How y'all doing this morning? Yes, we're live. I'm gonna go between sitting down and standing up, get some of this nervous energy. Plus it's only a few of you guys, so just want to talk to you. Don't want to give you a speech or anything like that. How y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, well, my name is Jensine Reader, Jen for short. I'm originally from Greenville, and so my story, well, this part of my story really starts in 2012, just 5 years ago. I realized that I was in poverty. And some people look at me, even some of y'all kind of look like, well, how did you not know that you were poor? Well, to me, poor was what I'd seen on TV, some other neighborhoods that I'd been into and things like that. So I didn't live that way. So I thought that, I'm paying my bills, have to make some decisions sometimes on what gets paid and what doesn't, but I'm okay. I'm a happy person, I'm all right. But I was having a conversation. I was a paralegal for 10 years. So I was in a law firm, and there was a conversation regarding the poverty line and SNAP benefits. And it was more of a negative conversation. I'd never heard it in that context before. So it prompted me to start researching and finding out exactly what this meant. Because when you have a term like SNAP benefits, you think it's a good thing. At least that's what I thought. And then the people around me in my environment felt the same way. So I had no idea that it was something wrong. But after my research, I saw the statistics concerning not just the individuals in poverty, but the children. And I have 3 children. And after reading those stats, I said, there is no way I'm going to be the cause or I'm going to add to their detriment. So, how many of y'all got kids in here? So, would you not do anything that you could to make sure that your children were in a healthy, happy environment? That's what you come to work for every day, right? So it was at that point that I realized staying as a paralegal, the only promotion I could get was to become an attorney. Didn't have 8 years I was ready to devote to doing that. So I decided to go back to school for technology, because I was pretty good at it, without any training. So I said, okay, this is something I like to do, because I looked at technology as problem solving. I'm pretty good at problem solving, because as a mom, you have to do it minute by minute throughout the day. So I enrolled at Greenville Tech in 2012 for computer technology with a focus in network administration. So I tried doing that and keeping a part-time job. So I was a full-time student with a part-time job, a full-time mom, 3 children. And at that time, they were 13. My daughter was 13, she's the oldest. My son was 10, and my baby boy was 6. So, as you can imagine, it was pretty difficult. Pretty difficult to study, and I'm an overachiever, so I like making A's. So when I got a B, I was a little upset about that. So I talked to one of the counselors at school, and they said, you need to apply for some scholarships because it's really hard to focus on your studies and work. And on top of that, you're a mom, so you need to eliminate one of these things that's drawing your time. So I was told about the United Way Jobs to Careers Women's Leadership Scholarship. So I applied for it on the last day. I just barely made it in. And I went and I had to be interviewed and all of that. And they called me back and said, yes, you are a recipient. I was ecstatic. So I was able to not have to work my part-time job, and I could just focus on school. My children, I told them about it, especially my daughter. I was like, this is awesome. This scholarship has helped me out a lot. And when we start preparing you for school, we're gonna make sure you fill out as many scholarship applications as possible. My youngest son, he was really ecstatic when I told him that this was gonna make things easier, because he said, well, good. now I can have my nice mommy back. So, needless to say, I did continue my studies, and I graduated in 2014 with a 3.8 GPA. I was happy, and the job offers started rolling right on in. And one of them actually was a contract job with United Way of Greenville County. Well, because of the scholarship, I was intrigued and interested to find out more information about this organization that I'd only seen commercials for on TV. Just being honest, I didn't know what they did. I just knew that they helped people. So they had a database administrative job available. So I came in, and it was supposed to be an 8-month contract. I went in and first began to learn what all they do. And the database is for the programs that we fund. The programs that are funded based on your donations, and they're allocated out through a funding cycle for these agencies and programs here in Greenville. So I had full access to see what these programs were doing in the community. And I was just overwhelmed with joy, excitement, some frustration of why are so many people in need in such a place that, we're on all kind of top 10 lists for the best place to live, the best place to be and to move to and to tour. And I was like, oh my God. And now I get to be a part of this. So I began to work in the database, began to create some workflow processes that would make it easier for not only the United Way organization, but also for the agencies here locally, going into their agencies and helping them with their technology needs, because a lot of nonprofits don't even have any type of IT support. If they get new software or a new system, they'll contract someone for a month or two, and then they're on their own. And so a lot of times, as many of you may know, software, you're using 10-15% of the features on the software instead of the 85-90% that you should be using. So I saw that need and saw that opportunity and began to do a lot of training and a lot of helping, problem solving, and helping them to feel better about what they were doing, but also helping them understand the importance of data and how those numbers can be analyzed so you can show where you're filling the need and where there are still gaps. So after about a year and a half of that, I was hired on full-time at United Way. And I didn't know what I was missing. I had never had full benefits. I never had a salary that I could say I'm pleased about. And it changed my life. It changed my life, not just for me, but to be able to share this with my children and letting them know that this is also available for you. So I continued on being in an environment where other people think differently from maybe what you're used to. It began to feed into some things that I could aspire to. So the first thing was home ownership. So in 2015, I bought my first house. And it was such a great achievement. I thought getting my degree, being the first generation to receive, to earn a degree in my family was a big accomplishment, which it is. But I just felt even better to purchase my home. And I took my children through that process because they were teenagers, so they were able to understand what was going on. And now they have a yard to run in, and they have their own spaces within the house, and it's ours. There's no landlord coming by, knocking on the door, wanting to go through it. You don't realize an invasion until you don't have to deal with it. And you're like, wow, this is really nice. So after through the home buying process, credit became a thing to look at and to be more conscious about and be more intentional about my financial decisions. And some will say, well, why wouldn't you think of that? Well, when you're worried about whether your power's going to be cut off, your water's going to be cut off, or you can make rent that month, you really can't think about anything else. And I didn't realize that that was an issue until it was gone. I didn't realize that road rage really had a lot to do with the stress that I was under. Now, we still have some bad drivers. However, I don't get mad about it anymore. I sometimes even laugh about it because I'm in a better space. I have a better quality of life, and so do my children. But even on top of that, I'm in a position to where I can help others do the same thing, which is why I come and I share my story. So this year, my daughter left for USC Aiken, where she is studying psychology. She had full scholarships and a grant. So she didn't have to worry, she didn't have those worries and stresses of having to deal with your finances while being in school. And she was home for this fall break, and she just came home and she was telling me how much, Mom, I really love and appreciate you and all that you've done for us and shown us that we can do it too. And I don't have any problem studying because I watched you study after getting off of work. I don't have any problems working hard and going to talk to my teachers to get additional help and support because I heard you talking to your counselors and I saw you sending emails to your instructors. And that is so fulfilling to know that through my struggle and through the journey that I decided, made one decision one day, that years later it will still be having an effect on my life and on my children's life, their lives. So I said all of this to share with you guys what United Way has done. Now some people say, well, they wrote you a check, but that check turned into so many different things. I'm currently working on my bachelor's degree in business administration, and because I see the importance of education and I see the opportunities that are available to me as a result of that. So even though some people say, well, hey, you overcame that hurdle and things are great now, well, I'm continuing on because the cycle continues to go around. So I'm still on that journey. And I started in 2015, after I purchased my home, I also became a Palmetto Society donor. And some people will say, well, you just got out of poverty yourself. You're gonna give over $1,000 to a charity? Yes, absolutely. Because I know for a fact where my money is going. I know that there's a return on investment. I know that these programs in Greenville need that support to help these children learn early education, to help life essentials, which is health and access to dentists and doctors and medicine that they would not have access to otherwise. So I say all of that to say, as a Palmetto Society donor, give what you can. Even if you can't give on that level, give what you can, because there are 170,000 people in Greenville County that are living in poverty. That's 170,000 reasons to give. That's why I give, because I want to see those 170,000 or a great portion of them on the cycle of success as well. Thank you.